Hello everyone, this is Dimitri with Ukidz LLC, UGears US. Today we're going to be assembling winged sports coupe that resembles the Mercedes Goldwing. And this is one of the simpler model. It's a pullback and wind up, both kind of like a double motor, double engine model. Should take us about 4 hours, or should take you guys about 4 hours. Probably going to be a little bit less than that. It's an easy level, fairly simple assembly, designed for 14 plus. However, I think kids 12, maybe 10 even and older can do these models. It is the designation mostly because European companies are required to testify to certify anything that is for children under 13, hence the 14 plus rating. US it's 12, and once again, as I said, I think anybody 10, 11, 12 should be able to put the model together. This is one of the simpler one. So let's go ahead and start with box opening. We have my little tool here just to cut the paper. Pull out the little box that is inside, and here we don't need the box anymore. We got 3 boards. Put them aside. We got manual, and we have a little envelope with sandpaper. Let's see, there's another piece, so I guess 3 boards and a little tiny piece. We have a couple rubber bands. These are for, actually not a couple, but more like should be at least 4. Sand paper right here, wax, spring, and here's the 4th rubber band. So these are tires. That's what these guys are for. And nothing else in that bag. Just put it aside for right now. Make sure you don't throw it out, just in case if I miss something. Let's see, with the manual, first page, obviously carefully remove parts. You can read it yourself. I've pretty much been talking about this on every single video, but if you're first time, this is a good pointer here. So if need to pre-cut the parts a little bit, push them out, use the wax if it's hard to insert them, and so on. The page number 3 has symbols that we see through the assembly. This is to wax the parts, sand the parts. Exclamation point is to make sure that you pay attention at that specific point. And then mechanical, 2 gears with 2 arrows going in the opposite directions. Make sure the mechanism works. Here's a list of all the spare components that you find on the boards. So if you break these guys, check, make sure you have a spare. You can find it on the board. It'll have a plus sign. Let me see if I can easily, so there's like a little plus sign and pointing to the part, so that means it's a spare component. And like in this case, that's part number 36, and here it is listed as there is a spare. So you look for that first, and then contact us or the manufacturer for those components if you cannot find them. Also, there is a helping tool, which is on board number 2, bottom right. And that's helping tool will help you to push the parts together, push them out, and so on, and during the assembly process. So pretty helpful. All right, here it just shows you how to use it, how you can push the parts out using it. And let's start the assembly. We're on page number 4, winged sport coupe. Let's see, we need parts number 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of them should be on board number 1, and there is 2 parts number 1. So they're right at the center here of the board. Push them out. Then we need the gear number 2. Gear number 2 is going to be bottom left right here within the mechanism. Gear number 4 is at top right. And then parts number 3, we need 1 at first. That's going to be top left quadrant, a little bit above the middle. So with the gears, make sure there's no burrs or material, so you can just remove it with a helping tool in between the gears. that will actually slow down a little bit and create a little bit extra friction in there. So you want to take that out as much as possible. And then a wax stick, I mean, I got plenty of them from the other assembly, so I'm just going to use one of the older ones. So you just apply wax all around the gears, gear teeth. So we're working on gear number 4. Same thing with gear number 2. And apply it on both sides of the tooth. And part number 3, you need to sand it and wax it. So sanding instead of the sandpaper, it does have a little dips in there, so you don't really need to sand it, but if you want it smoother and operating a little bit easier, you can apply a little bit of a sanding all around. Instead of this sandpaper, I'm using the precision flat. So it's one of the options, but sandpaper works as well. It's a 200 grit and should be working very good for the purpose. All right, 2 parts. 1, we put it together. Part number 2 goes on the shorter end, where there's like a little tab there, shorter tab. So we kind of join them together, push it in, and we push it as far as it can go. If it doesn't go very easy, you need to use a little bit of a wax, that'll push the part through. And then part number 4, we put it from the other side. It needs to go, looks like all the way down towards the part number 2, with a little bit of a gap in between, so not all the way down. And then part number 3, we put it all the way at the end, kind of to lock the part number 2 in place, just like this. And we're done with the this part of the gear. We're going to step number 2. Also, helping tool is helpful to remove all that wax pieces that you have on your mat or table. All right, let's see. Then we're gonna need to grab a spring. There's a little tongue in here, and then make sure it faces clockwise direction. And then you insert that flat piece in the middle, in between part number 1. So you need to split them up a little bit and push that part in. In between, and that's gonna go all the way down to the gear. All right, so let's split it open a little bit. Here we go. In between parts number 1, tongue facing, as you look at the gear 4, well, 2 is on the back, that little tongue facing clockwise direction. Let's see, we need to push that spring all the way down. I'm gonna use the helping tool. All right, and let's see, and we put part number 3, top left corner, a little bit above the middle, right next to the other one. Wax it up, and we put it to lock the spring in between parts number 1. All right, and that's our A1. Moving on to page number 5. Step number 1, we need part number 5. That's the bottom left of board number 1. That's that larger part, chassis. Let's see, then 1, 2, 3, 4, part number 6. And part number 6 is a little bit below the middle on the right hand side. Within the little square here, push them out. I'm using my helping tool just to get it out. They're smaller parts, so it's harder to push them with your fingers. So that's where helping tool comes into play. All right, so we need to remove that piece where part number 2 was from the center. Flip it upside down so the lines are on the bottom, and then this little hook's going to be top left as you're looking away, and then part number 6 need to go into 1, 2, 3, 4 corners here from the bottom. So I'm going to flip it for a second just to insert these parts. Once again, smaller parts, I'm using a helping tool just to snap it all the way in. Now all around. 4 corners of that larger circle in the middle. Cutout, circular cutout, flip it back up. This is top left corner, and then part A1 we insert with from the top, and then this little lip will need to go into that little lip cutout. And let's see, we need to rotate it into the counterclockwise direction to wind the coil, the spring. Make sure it stays in that little opening. And you need to wind it enough so you can fit the whole coil into that opening. All right, a little struggle here. Just like this. And let me unwind it a little bit because I think I wound it up too much. So the coil needs to stand, or spring needs to stay within that circular opening while the gears are flat towards the part number 5. So as I'm holding this and let it unwind a little bit so it stays within. And then part number 7, I should have looked at it before. That's right in the middle on the right hand side of board number 1. That's gonna go over with these little cutouts pieces coming from the bottom. The little cut's gonna be on the clockwise side. That's gonna go over, and we're gonna lock it onto port number 6 all around. While holding the spring in place. Here we go, stays. And then step number 5, we need 2 parts number 8. They're on board number 2 on the bottom, a little bit to the right of the center. Get these 2 parts, put them together, and they're gonna go into this little part, onto part number 1. Let's see with the directionality. With that circular or cutout, the arch cutout is going to be clockwise direction coming from the bottom. So when you wind it up, the arrow points, it should point towards that arch. And that will lock it in place. Same thing with the second one. And that's going to be our winding mechanism. And that's our A2. Moving on to page number 6. We need to make A3, which we need 2 parts number 9, 10, and 2 parts number 11. They all on board number 1. Back onto board 1. So 11s are right here. We just need 2 of those for now. a little bit to the left of the center line and the bottom left. Parts number 9 is going to be a little below or right at the middle on the left hand side. And part number 10 is, let's see, where's the 10? 10 is going to be on the bottom. So 9 is going to go into the other. Part number 11, once again, it's got little dips, so you don't really need to wax or sand it, but you do need to wax. Sand it a little bit. Put a little bit of wax. All around. And then obviously wax on all the gear teeth of part number 10. Alrighty, so this is gonna go part number 11 from one side. Part number 10, I'm gonna push it from the other side. So it stops against the part number 11, and then lock it up with part number 11 on the other end. Just like this, you got a little tiny gear mechanism here, or just a gear. A3, then step number 1 in the middle at the top. We need parts number 12, and 2 of them. They're, excuse me, now to the right of the center line, a little below the middle. We need part number 11, just 1, and part number 10, just 1 on the bottom left. Bottom center, I guess. Remove the extra material, little burrs. Wax the part and then wax 11. Sand it and wax it. I'm gonna skip the sanding just to reduce the assembly time, so you guys are not bored for too long. 12 goes into the 12, then number 10, and then number 11 to lock it up. That's our A4. All right. Step number 1 on the top right, we take our sub-assembly with the gears up. A3 is going to go in a hole that is on the right hand side here, interlocking with the main large gear. And then A4 with the gear down, it's going to go into the hole that is right in the middle there. So that's going to be, they're going to be interlocking as it moves back and forth. Next, step number 2 on the bottom of that page, we need part number 13 on board number 1. That's a little below the middle on the right hand side, right at the edge. And then part number 14, that's a little bit above the middle on the left hand side. All right, so with this little all-brown, that's gonna go over the A3, going in there. And then the part number 14, once again, brown's gonna go over the same, right? Now a little bit further. It's gonna go against the main gear here, underneath. And through A4, that little circle inside. Need to get it under the gear. Here we go, just like this. So all brown's gonna be, let's see, right direction. It's going towards the top left, bottom right, just like this. And then this guy's sticking out. And then we need parts number, and for step number 3, we need parts number 15, top left, a little bit to the left of the center line, and part number 11 to the left of the center line in the bottom. Part number 11, waxed all around, sanded and waxed. And then with part number 15, same thing. Remove the burrs and edges, little extra material, and then wax every single gear tooth. And that's gonna go through this part. And lock it with number 11. So we're locking all these parts together. Alrighty. Step number 4 on page number 7. We need part number 16. That's the top right. And that's going to go from the bottom into that larger part, whatever the number was, 14. How quickly I forget. All right. Step number, let's see, that's our A5. We put it on the side. Page number 7, step 1, top right corner. We need 2 parts 17 on the bottom right of board number 1. We're gonna need part number 19, 2 of them. They're bottom right also, all the way at the end there at the edge. And part number 18, that's gonna be on the left-hand side to the left of the center line, bottom left. Let's see, remove extra material that is stuck in there. Wax the teeth on part number 18. And then sand and wax parts number 19. All around. All right, parts number 17 gonna go against each other. And that shorter side, that's where part number 19 is gonna go onto. And we need to move it all the way to these little T's. And then part number 18 gonna go on the other side. It's gonna go past these little points, I guess, or cutouts. And then we'll lock it with part number 19. It's only can go that far. All right, so step number 1 on the bottom of page number 7, right at the center there. Gonna take our sub-assembly A5. Let me clean up this wax from here. We need part number 20. That's also on the bottom, right at the center, maybe a little bit to the right. And then with the teeth, so these little slots facing up and the teeth facing counterclockwise direction. It's gonna go over, we're gonna lock it through all these little tabs that are on here. So we need to line up the parts and work the tabs in. Make sure you line up all the holes. That way it's gonna get inserted much easier. And then we flip it 180 degrees, moving on to the page number page number 8. We're gonna insert that A6 with the gear on the right hand side right here. So it's sticking up through that slot. And then we lock it up with part number 21, also on the bottom of board number 1, with the teeth facing clockwise direction. Kind of similar procedure as we did on the other side. Line up all the tabs. And lock the part in. We also need to make sure that little part number 19, I think it was, fits through the little opening. So now this should be rotating fairly easy in here. And we're down to step number 4 on page number 8. Part number 22 is going to go into these 3 holes. And so part number 22 is on board number 1, also at the bottom, somewhere like in the middle of the board, middle bottom quadrant. Let's see, and then these 2 tabs going to be closer to you, and they're going to be up, and then the 3 tabs on the bottom, they're going to go into the corresponding holes, locking it all the way in. And that's our A7. Moving on to the page number 9. Let's see, step number 1, we need parts number 25. We're still on board number 1. They're top right corner here, closer to the edge. We need part number 24, also at the edge, and then 23 is right there in the same location, right above 24. Similar like with the other gears, we're waxing all around, waxing parts number 25. And then 23 is going to go through the gear. And then 25 on one end and the other end. Nice and flat. That's our A8. And then step number 1 in the middle, at the top of the page, number 9. We need 2 parts number 11. Let's see, they're going to be top right corner here. We need 2 parts number 9, which are right in the middle on the left hand side. And we're going to need part number 26 is the top left. All right, so let's see, similar as before, wax part number 26 and wax, sand and wax parts number 11. Also, if you really want to have the model operational nice and easy, you might also want to sand the gear teeth on all the gears that we're doing. So if you have time on your hand and really want to do it, that will make or reduce the friction drastically, will make it work much smoother, and will start working faster too. Faster in the sense that you will not need to spend as much time as I will have to in order to work all the gears in. All right, then I'm using table surface as the leverage to push the parts in, make it a little bit easier to insert them. All right, step number 1 in the top right corner. A8 is gonna go into this little a brown slot, locking these 2 gears in, and then A9 is gonna go into the bottom right, engaging with the gear here and the gear for the axle. All right, and then step number 2 on the bottom, we need to put part number 27, which is a little bit below the middle of the center here. Wax the little tabs. And insert the part over. Make sure that all your little round pieces fall into the holes. Carefully work it all around. And until it locks itself in. All right, and that's our A10. So all these round pieces are within the holes, locked in the assembly. All right, moving on to page number 10. You need part number 28. That's on the bottom right. Or step number 1. Then we need part number 29 and 30. They're a little bit above 28 on the right hand side and within a little rectangular piece. So you can pull the piece out and get these little tiny parts out with my helping tool. Let's see. 1 and 2. And then the shorter side is on the right. So 29 is going to go through the center hole here, the square hole. And you got to push it all the way in through. Make sure you don't break the part. And then 30, we need to wax it. And put it over part number 29. All right, so that's our A11. Step number 1 at the center top here, we need parts number 32 and 31, 2 of each. They are also on board number 1. They're right, a little bit to the right or center line, and a little bit to the right of the center line for port number 31. 32 is at the center line, a little bit above the middle. So 31 is going to go on the bottom. 32 is going to go, that's with the longer tab. So this little angled piece facing away from you, and then 32 with the tab, long tab, is going to go towards the left hand side. Then we need to insert it all the way in, and then the second, it's going to be the opposite direction. So tab going to towards the right. Just like this, 1 to the right, 1 to the left. And let's see, and these gonna go step number 2 a little bit later. So step number 1 on the top right, those are A12s. We're gonna keep them on the side right now. So we're gonna take A11 with the shorter end towards the outside, towards the right hand side. We slide it into this little hole here. And that's gonna need to go like this, back and forth. And then step number 2, part number A12 is gonna go on the right hand side and left hand side, matching these 2 holes. So these little tabs, that's our steering, just like this, and then 1 on the left. And let's see, step number 3, we need part number 33. That's the top right corner of board number 1. And that one's gonna go right over the tabs here, locking this into the position. One side and the other, make sure all the tabs are where they're supposed to be. And now as you move it, there's a little bit of resistance, but it is turning. All right, step number 4 on page number 11. You need 2 parts number 34, board number 1, bottom a little bit to the right of the center line. And these gonna go over these 2 parts. Locking it in. I'm gonna use my helping tool because I can't get my fingers in there. There you go. Needs to be flush here. Left and right. All right, and that's gonna be our part A. Now we need to play with the winding mechanism to make sure it releases. All right, so we wind it up 7 times, and then we need to make sure that it starts moving. So we need to unwind these gears. Let's see, and the way they should go, if you look, let's see, if this is the front of the car towards the back, right hand side should go clockwise direction. So here's the movement. Just need to push it through, work through the gears, work through all the friction. Unwind it completely, and then it should unwind itself. So you need to work through these gears a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then work it in. Make sure we're still recording. So if you would have sanded and waxed every single tooth, this would have been probably, by now you would have been done with working the mechanism. I still have to play with it a little bit until it runs nice and smooth. It's almost running. Still need to work it a little bit more. So So this is the most tedious part of the whole thing. It's just to work everything in. Here we go. I can obviously come back to it later once we install all the wheels and then work it in. It's just like you want to make sure it's working on the half stages, right? So if there's any problems, you don't have to disassemble the whole car. So we're at this stage, make sure that everything's working. Once it's working, then you can continue the assembly just to make sure that everything is operational the way it is, or the way it's designed. Here we go. So there's still some burr somewhere. It doesn't let it go through completely. Almost there. As you can see, it unwinds already fairly easily. I'm holding it with my finger just to make sure it doesn't unwind as I'm winding it. And so that's the goal. That's what we're looking for. Make sure that it spins. I mean, it doesn't unwind completely yet, but at least it goes through the few rounds, few cycles. And that's the goal. That's where we want to be. Let's do a few more times just for the nice and smooth operation, and then we'll work it in even more when we're at the end, or once you start playing with the model, that's when it's gonna work itself in. All right, we're page 11, step number 1 in the top right corner. I need parts number 37, 35, 34, 36s, and 38. 37 is in the bottom left of the board number 2. Take out that center pieces. These are spares, so just keep them in case. 37, turn it upside down so the circle is on the bottom there. Then part number 35, it's on the top left. There's 2. Top left of board number 1. 36 in the top right, so we need 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm using the helping tool to get these out. And then part number 38 is the top right. And we're gonna need these parts, the center pieces in there. All right, so 37, we're gonna put the 36 through 35. Make sure also that design is facing towards the bottom. And this is, well, I guess we can put it into the 37 right away. One, two, three, and 4. Put the 35 through these 36s. Line it up. And then 38 is gonna go, we need to wax the teeth on the inside. And they need to face the counterclockwise direction as you're putting it from the top. Next step, number 2, we need to put part number 39, that's the top left corner, into the center here. And we do need to sand and wax that outside round surface. And then when you insert it into the opening, make sure that little holes or little pointers are counterclockwise direction also. And then we need 2 parts number 40. I usually don't put the wax on them because they get sticky with the wax. Let's see, and these just gonna go into this little round openings of part number 39, arching in a direction, counterclockwise direction. And then once that's done, we put the tire over it. Make sure these parts don't fall out. Just kind of bring it over the wheel and put it right in the center. Make sure it's not twisted anywhere. And if it is, just correct it by flipping it over. All right, and that's our B1. Moving on to the page number 12. B1 is going to be on the left hand side. Step number 1 on top left on page number 12 is the same scenario, except the teeth is going to go the other way. So number 37 on the bottom there at the center. Pull the centerpiece out. Then board number 1, parts number 36, 4 of them. Part number 35, top left, and 38, right at the center at the top. Once again, part number 40, we're gonna need it. 36 gonna go into the part number 37. Put it on the side for some reason. Into the 4 holes. Then part number 35. And part number 38 with the gears going opposite direction, clockwise. Now same thing, part number 39 in the top right. And two parts number 40, that was within part number 38. Pull these out. Take these little pieces out. There we go. Sanding on the outside. And wax. Now it's flip it up, facing clockwise direction, insert it, and then put the little teeth in there. So this should be facing the opposite direction from these. All right, that's our B2. Step number 1 on the right hand side, top of the page, we need part number 37. Bottom, center. Might as well just pull 2 of them because we need to assemble 2 of those. Get the center pieces out. We're gonna need part number 36, total 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And parts number 35, 2 of them. Similar scenario on here. Ooh, I know what I forgot. Little tire on B2. All right, back to our sub-assembly, or our assembly of the sub. And I'm just doing 2 parts at the same time. These are going to be 2 front wheels. All right, and then 2 parts 41 for each one. They're on board number 2. I'm going to use my helping tool to get these guys out. They're on the bottom left of board number 2. And he's going to go with the design towards the outside. Locking it in. 1 and 2. And then 2 tires over these guys. All right, then that's our B3. Moving on to the page number 13 and taking a little break. Okay, we're on page number 13, step number 1. Now we need to put these wheels on. So B1, B2, 2 B3s. All right, so for the rear ones, we need part number 42, 2 of them. They're on board number 3. This looks like it's a thinner board. It's on the bottom left here. 2 parts number 42, and then 2 parts 43. They're also on the board number 3. They're on the left hand side, a little bit below the middle. Get these rear ones first. So they're gonna go, B2 is gonna go on the left hand side and B1 on the right. Let's see. 42 first. That needs to lock this little sub-assembly within it. And carefully insert it all the way in, and then lock it up with 43. Need to make sure those little teeth don't fall out and that everything stays in place. Same thing on the other side. Alright, the rear wheels are done. So we need parts number 44, 45, and 44. Alright, 444s. 44s, there's 2 on the bottom here and 2 on the bottom left on board number 3. So we need a total of 4 of these guys, and then on board number 2, 1, sorry. Bottom left are parts number 45. We need 2 of these too. And similar to the other one, first we have 44. Gonna go on these long tabs. Might want to put a little bit of a, in my case doesn't go very easy, so I'm gonna put a little bit of owl wax on that. Then part number 45. 45 we need to wax and sand. Put a little bit of wax on it. All right, now I can put it on. And then the wheels. And then lock it up with 44 again. Same on the other side, I already waxed it. Make sure you put the design on the outside so it's nice and visible. Little circles and cutouts and stuff. Now we need to make sure that these turn and then these guys move. And then we can do this. This part we will need to work in a little bit. That's the pullback option. It is a little bit tough on there, and then so to make sure you don't break it, make sure you spin both wheels at the same time. So that should also wind up the spring. So one way is winding here, holding the wheels, and then that unwinds it, or the other way you should be able to spin it forward easy, just should go, or the reverse. It'll lock it up and actually winds the mechanism too, as you can see. Once again, going back, in my case is not easy yet. but it works. All right, so these two are operational. I would work it in a little bit more, but once again, we did spend a lot of time on winding mechanism previously, so I don't want to spend too much. But once you work it in, it also becomes a pullback model. There we go. There we go. We got it working. So, all right. Excuse me. Let's move on and start building the body. We're on page number 14. Step number 1 on the left, top left. We need parts number 49, 2 of them. Looks like they're on board number 2. Top right corner here, 2 49s. Two 48s, also top right corner, right here within the window. Part number 46, that one on the bottom left, a little bit below the middle. And part number 47, that one is on board number 3, top left corner here. All right, so let's see, 49. Let's do, which one would be the best to put on? I'll do the 47 first. It's gonna go into top 2 tabs up front. Then I'm gonna do 48. These gonna go into these openings that are right next to the frame. And then the straight piece towards the front, towards that curved surface, out towards the outside, I want to say. There you go. And then 49, we need to put it onto these little tabs from inside, these 2 tabs. So this thin portion is going to be towards the bottom. Make sure it's in the same direction as the other one. And then step number 2, we need 2 parts number 50 and 2 parts number 51. Let's see, it looks like it's board number 2, part number 51, and there's a bottom right. Let's see, and part number 50, where the 50 would be, they're on board number 3, bottom to the right and to the left of the center line. All right, so 50, there's a directionality that we need to pay attention to. So the thinner portion, the thinner tab's gonna go into this extension piece into 49, with the thick one towards the bottom. Just like this, and same thing on the other side, but flipped. I mean, it's still towards the bottom, but it's just a mirror image. So, and then part number 51, they will go with one of the tabs the thinner one tabs at like where the double tab is at. So the thinner one or smaller one's gonna go into these openings right here. So it curves in the same direction as the part number 49. 1 and 2. All right, that's our C1. We're gonna put it aside for now. Moving on to the step number 1 in the center of the page here at the top. Need part number 53. That was the top of board number 2. And then part number 54. Let's see, 54. That one's on that, also on the same board on the right hand side. And then we also need part number 52, which is on board number 3 on the bottom here. Let's take out these pieces that are within it. Same thing, little spacers. Those have parts in it, so we're still keeping it. The ones in the part within the part number 53, the parts are gone, so we can take it out. Let me make sure we're still recording and we're good. All right, so this facing down, 54 with this little cutout, it's gonna go into the 53 slot right at the center, and then make sure these little circles are away from you. And also the same thing, the designs towards the bottom. And let's see, we need to put just like this. So it's a little L shape. 52 is gonna go into 53 from inside the windows, and then 54 like these two together. And then step number 2, we need part number 55, which is on board number 1, top left. And let's see, we don't have any more parts left on number 1 board, so I can put it aside. And then this little piece gonna go with the rectangular cutout, long rectangular cutout through the hole here. And you push it down through the hole and then onto the tab of part number 54. So you gotta push it inside. All right, and that's part number C2. Let's move on to the page number 15. Step number 1, top left. We got part number 56, which is on board number 3, right at the center on the bottom here. Parts number 57 and 58. And those are 60s, 57s. 57 are top left on the same board, number 3. We need 4 of those, and top right. And then part number 58. That one's on the bottom, to the right a little bit. It's a little gear shifter. All right, so 58 is gonna go at the end here, like these 2 little holes on the extension. Carefully with these parts, they're a little bit thinner material, so easier to break. And these looks like a part of the seats. So similar, they're gonna go into these 4 holes here There's one little tab, so the thinner part's towards the seats, and then like that's towards the back with the longer tab. And then on the left hand side, that's going to be a parking brake. And step number 2, we need part number 59. And 59 is the bottom, right in the middle on the right hand side on board number 3. So that one is going to go all the way on the hole, all the way to the left. Alrighty, and that's our C3. Put it aside. Now on the bottom, page number 15, bottom left, we have part number 61, which is on board number 2. Top right. Part number 62 is to the right of the same part, on the top right of board number 2. Part number 63, which is a steering wheel, and that one's going to be on board number 3. And then part number 30 is the top left of the board number 2. So go back to number 3 and get the steering wheel on the bottom left here. Alright, so 62 is gonna go right through that hole on the left hand side. Let's put a little bit of wax on it. Doesn't go very easy through. That's gonna go from the back. And then we're gonna put part number 30 on it. And then lock it up with the steering wheel, whichever way you want to put it on, but I'm just using the same one as on the picture. So it's C4, step number 15 on the right hand, page number 15, step number 1 on the right hand side. We need C1 and C2. Was it C1, C2? I thought it was the other way around. So C1 and that's a C2. So that should be C2 and that should be C1. And let's see, upside down, and this one's upside down, so we're gonna need to put it on these tabs right here. And then let's see, and these extensions gonna need to go into the holes right here. So let's do the holes first. Left and right, and then we split these open a little bit carefully and put it onto these little tabs. And that's our C5. Back of the car. Moving on to the page number 16, we're still working with the C5. We need our C3, which are the seats, and still upside down on this guy. These longer tabs are away from you, and so this is gonna go at the back. There's 2 tabs. Just like this. Did I forget to put the seats? Yep, I forgot to put the seats on. right, let's take this off. I'm like, something's missing in our C3. The seat is missing. And I forgot to do the step 2. All right, first, part number 57, just broke one. Please, yeah, we have one spare. Part number 57, spare. Let's find that spare. Bottom right, just broke it as I was pushing it out. And then we do need, don't lose it, 2 parts number 60. They're on the right and left hand side of the board number 3. Alright, so this guy goes in here, and then 60 with the seat cushions. Right and left hand side. So these guys were missing. For some reason I forgot it to install. Well, it is kind of early morning right now, so kids are still asleep. That's why you don't hear them. I only got my puppy next to my legs, warming me up in the basement. All right, back to the sub-assembly. And put it back in. We were on page number 16. That was step number 1, and then we need 2 parts number 64. They're on board number 3, top right and top left. Floorboards, still keep it upside down. Let's see with this little writing facing down. We're gonna do on the left and right hand side. All right, that's step number 1. Step number 2, we need to insert our wheel. Pull it back upside down, and then there's 2 little tabs on the right hand side and left hand side, and that's where these go. All right, and then this hole is gonna lock onto the tab of the brakes. Sorry, the gear shifter. All right, that one's on. Left side, or right side, and left side. All right, that was this guy. I guess I did it in the opposite, but whichever, it worked. Now we need parts number 66. They are on board number 2. Top right here. And part number 65 on board number 3 on the right hand side, bottom right. That one's fragile, so careful. Then we need to put 66 into the holes here, locking this part into the chassis. line up the holes just to make sure it's easier to push it in. All right, and now part number, we need to lock this into, like, carefully round it off and lock it on these little tabs on the inside. Creating nice little back. And then 2 parts number 67 into these 2 little tiny holes. So 67 are going to be on board number 3. I think we pulled them out earlier. They were within the window frame here. 67 and 67. Obviously with the smaller tab, and with the other tab kind of facing diagonally towards the back. Just like this, and that's our finished part. I guess there is no number in this case. Step number 17, we're continuing the assembly. Need part numbers, step number 5, part number 68, 69, and 70. 68 and 70 on the bottom right. 68 is gonna go on the left hand side, 70 on the right hand side, and then part number 69 is a little bit below the middle on the right hand side. And with this cut out away from you, 68 is gonna go on the left. There's a little cut opening here, and then 70 is gonna go on the right. Just like that, and then we're gonna put it on this assembly. So these little tabs are gonna go into holes on the right and left hand side. Right. Part number 68 and 70 needs to be a little bit under the angle, and they're gonna go into the cutouts of the window. And then the little tabs into the holes on the left and right hand side, and then we easily move it down, or don't put too much pressure on it, and put it on the tabs of part number, I think it was 67 that we just installed. Locking it in. Now we're going to turn it around 180 degrees, and from this side, step number 6, we need parts number 71, 72, and 73. Let's see, 73 is on board number 3, and bottom left, a little bit below the middle. 71, 2 of them are on the little to the right of the center line on the bottom, on board number 3, and then part number 72 is on board number 2 at the top right. So careful pushing this one out because it's long and fragile. All right, here, part number 71 with the thinner tab's gonna go into the part number 72. So first we're gonna need to insert it in 72 on the left and right hand side. That's step number 1. Step also part number 1 with the thinner portion away from you. Same thing as 71. 73 is going to go with the thinner tab. Right? Am I doing it right? There we go. And now these guys, this is step number 2. We need to slide it into these 2 slots and right at the center here with port number 73, center hole. So let's push it in a little bit on the left and right. Line up the 73, push that one in, and then lock it in place. One side and the other. Careful with the steering wheel here because it's easy to break if you don't pay attention. Alright, so that's done with our frame C. Moving on to the page number 18. That's gonna go on the side here. Step number 1, top left. We have part number 74 and 75, board number 3. So top left of board number 3, 74, and then 75 is right above it. And then let's see, 74 with a little hole going down and to the left. 75 is going to go into this little slot, cut out. 2 cutouts on 75 and 74, going towards the top, so it doesn't stay in. And then we need part number 76, also top left. Let's see, that's gonna be our doors, I guess. That's gonna lock into part number 76. Or part number 76 is gonna lock onto 75. All right, and that will keep it together. That's our D1. So with these little 2 extensions on the right hand side, while this goes down, there we go. Right. D1, and then step number 1 on the right hand side, need part number 78 right at the center here of board number 3. At the top, there are 2 of them. You need part number 77, a little bit above in the middle on the left hand side. Part number 79, also same location. And part number 80 is the top left, right at the edge. Fragile parts, so careful. 77 is gonna go with the 2 tabs down and going up and to the left, to the right, sorry. We're gonna go with the 2nd tab into the hole of part number 78, the furthest hole. Then we need to put part number 80 onto 79, and it just shows you the direction it's supposed to go in. And then the flat portion towards the top there. And then 79 is going to go into the other hole that is closer to you with the 2nd tab from the bottom, or first from the top, I guess. It'll be easier to say that way, yeah, or the other. All right. Then step number 2, we need part number 81 top left, and we need 2 of them, a little bit to the left of the center line. And we need to wax these little openings here. Put them together, join them together, and then they're gonna go over these 2 parts that we just installed. And then step number 3, we install, let me make sure that everything sits fully. All right, and then step number 3, we install part number 82, also top left, on board number 3, still the same board, with that round off piece with the hole towards the right hand side. That goes into the tabs that are sticking out. And then we install this part, step number 1, 2 tabs going in here. Into the part number 77. And then this extension, 74, is gonna go into part number 80. Locking everything together, and that's our D2. Moving on to the page number 19, and we're gonna do the opposite. So same thing, 75, 76, top now it's top right, 74, 75. Top right of the board. And then 76 top right. That's the other 76. That shouldn't be 76. That should be a different number because it's a mirror image. Otherwise, it's a little bit confusing. All right, let's see. 75 into the 74. Actually, no, it's the same piece. That's totally fine. My bad. I thought it was a decoration on here would matter, but it doesn't. And I did put it the wrong way. Sure it's on the picture. Scratch that. Sorry. All good. All right, that's our D3. Part number 77, 78, and 79. Top right. 77 a little bit above the middle. 78 is going to be right at the center here. 80's top right at the edge, and 79 is going to be a little bit above the middle on the right hand side at the top there. All right, let's see. similar situation as with the other assembly, except it's a mirror image. It's going to be the other side. So now 77 is going from the left hand side. Flat piece towards the top. And then this is gonna go with the second hole. Then part number 81, two of them, they're on the top right here. Wax them a little bit, the little cutouts, just to easy put them onto the part. And then it's right next to 78. They go right behind it. Left and right hand side. And then step number 3, we need part number 83 is the top right. Now with the holes going on towards the other side on the bottom here. And then the final step is to put the D3 first into part number 77. This guy's falling out. And lock it into the 79 or into 80, and that's our D4. So these are our gold wing doors. Moving on to this page number 20, step number 1, we need part number 84 and 85. They're on board number 2. Let's see, 84 is the top left. And 85 is a little bit above the middle on the right hand side. Alright, so 84 is gonna go into the 85. With this piece sticking out with the hole, and then the little cutout is towards the back, and then D4 we need probably, I'd want to put a little bit of a wax on here. And these tabs. D3, D2, and D4 with the little tabs gonna go into the openings of 85. And then step 1 on the right hand side, we take our seam. It needs to go, let's see, into the opening here with the back. All right, so there's this tab, we're gonna, and 3 tabs. We got 1, 2, 3 holes in here. We need to snap it onto all 3. And make sure these tabs gonna go into the holes of the back here. So a little bit of a manipulation. So the whole tab. This part is good. Now make sure that centerpiece is all locked onto this crossbar. Everything looks good. They're locked. Everything is nice and flush. Squeeze it in. And now we can close them like this. And then step number 2, we also need part number 86, which is a top right outboard number 2. Now one going towards the back. With the sharp pointer. All right, that looks good. That's our D. Moving on to the next page, 21. Make sure that we're still recording with you guys. We're all good. All right, let's see. Step number 1 on page number 21. Need parts number 87, 88, and 89. Looks like they're on board number 2. 87 top left. 88 a little bit below it, and then 89. That one's look like on page number 3 on the bottom left here. With the circle towards the top, 88 is gonna go, let's see, drops into this little cutout here on the right hand side, and then locked up with part number 87 with the 2 tabs towards you. There are 2 holes at the top here. Somebody cannot get comfortable underneath. All right, so it doesn't go in very easy. I'm gonna put a little bit of a wax on the tabs and give it a second try. There we go. All in. Step number 2, we need parts number 90 and 91. Let's see, 90 is going to be on the left hand side of board number 2, top left. And then 91 I see 97, 91 on the bottom left. So with the hole, that little rectangular hole away from you, that's going to go into these two holes. Yeah, I need a little bit of a wax on these. And then part number 90 is going to go onto this tab right here, over with the second hole, and then into the part number 91, locking it in. Step number 3, we need part number 92 and 93. They're both on board number 3, top right and left. Careful pushing these out. They're a little fragile parts. And that's gonna go 92 on the part 89 here on the right and left hand side. Once again, I put a little bit of wax on these guys just to be sure I don't break it. There we go. Much easier and smoother once you have the wax on it. All right, and then 94 in step number 4 is gonna go from the back into these two parts. 94 is on board number 3, bottom left. A little wax on the tab. And that's gonna go from the back there you go. And that's our E1. Then step number 1 on the bottom of page number 21, that bottom middle, we have parts number 96, board number 3, part number 97, their board number 2, top left here, part number 90. Let's see, 95. Right at the center of board number 3. All right, so 97 is going to go with a rounded up portion towards the top. They're going to go through here and lock those cells into part number 96 with the tab sticking out towards the front. And then the radiator with the 2 tabs gonna go right at the center holes. Next step, number 2, we need part number 99 and 98. Looks like they're both on board number 2. 98 is the top left, bottom left, a little bit below the middle. And then 98, or 98, that's 98. And then 99, right at the center at the top, board number 2. All right, so with the design towards the inside here, this way, so it's kind of like, well, this is the radiator. The other one was just the front grill. And then 98 is gonna go into the, well, I should have put a 98 first. least that's what it says. A little wax on the tabs. All right, so 98 should have went on first, and then 99 went on first and then 98, but I did the opposite direction. Still fine. Flipped it over a little bit. That's our E2. Moving on to the page number 22. Step number 1 on top left corner. We're all working on board number 2 right now. We need parts number 100, 101. Let's see, they're right at the center here, a little bit above the middle. And then 102, two 102s, they're on a little below the middle on the left-hand side. All right. The part number 100 should be up front. And let's see, that circular, the oil, I guess, cap should be towards the back. On part number 102. And then part number 101 goes on the back. Step number 2, we need part number 106, bottom left, going from the back. To these 2 tabs. Part number 103, 104, and 105. 103 is right at the center at the top here. 103. Where's 104? 105. 105 is the bottom right, and that's where 104 is also there. So 104 is gonna go from the bottom through the part, and then 105 on top, or that's the oil cap. And that's gonna go right on part number 101 and 100. And the last piece is 107. 107 is the top right of board number 2, a little bit above the middle. That's gonna go from the front into the center hole. That's our E3. Step number 1 on the top right of page number 22. We need our half assembly here and E1 and E2. So the first step, we need to slide that E2 into the opening here, push it in, line up this tab with this hole, and then snap it in, and then line up the back and snap it in. Let's see. Alright, lined up. That one's in. Then we need to line this one up. Push it towards the back and snap the other one in. Just like that. Let's see, step number 2. Need part number 90 and 91 on board number 2. 90 is a little bit above the middle on the left hand side, and 91 is going to be on the bottom left. And then we put that little away from you, so the tab's facing towards the left. 90 is gonna go into that little hole of port number 91, and then we install this onto the left side of the subassembly E1, I guess. Now we need parts number 109 and 108, bottom left, board number 2. Work it out. 108 will go on the left hand side into part number 90. I will put a little bit of wax again on the tab. And number 109 is going to go on the left hand side, or right, or whichever way you're working. So if that's whole assembly facing you, all right. And now we put an engine in. And these two tabs gonna go into the front, into the part number 101. Let's see. With this tab sliding into this part right here. So let's see. Let's do the front first. A little wax on these guys. All right, let's do it again. Ding, ding. One side, the other side. Radiator. And then on the bottom here, this guy, lock it in. And that's our E4. All right, step number 1 at the top. We need our board number 4 little hood piece. And 2 parts number 111 there on board number 2 on the bottom right. And that's gonna go, the hood's gonna go into these slots. And when you're gonna need to push it in to lock it in. And then we need to carefully bend it. And put part number 112, which is at the center, a little bit to the left of the center line on board number 2. So carefully bend this hood. Then we put part number 112 onto the tabs, and the hood needs to go into this slot right here. There's 3 slots. Oh, I'm afraid, scared. There you go, locked in, all good. Whew. So you do have a little bit of a curvature and bend on E5. All right, so there's 3 slots. That's where it needs to snap into. And then now this is gonna go into our E4 assembly. I'm gonna put a little bit of wax on these steps on the left and right hand side. All right, so we need to put it in here first into the hole on the right hand side. Then pull this out a little bit, put it back in, and lock it into the tab. Next step's gonna be number 3. We need part number 113 on board number 3 on the bottom left here. That's gonna go into the hole on the left hand side. And then part number 88, it's on board number 2 in the middle on the right hand side. I'm gonna go into the slot, it just sits there. Just like this. Page number 23, 24, moving on to the 24. Step number 4, part number 87 on board number 2, top left. Now we're gonna lock that whole thing up. Putting a little bit of wax on all the parts here. Now line up the holes and tabs. Oh, all right. Sorry for that fresh breath. Let's see. This guy not completely in. These are in. These are in. This little tab on the bottom here. All right. We got our little front. And step number 5, we need part number 115. I'm assuming they're all on board number 3 here, bottom left, 2 115s. I need part number 114, top left and top right here, board number 3. Part number 116, they're right at the center here. Part number 116 and 117 is right below it. All right, so 115 is going to go on the left and right hand side. Part number 114 is going to go on the bottom here. Little tabs. That's our fog lights, I guess. Then 1/16 is going to go on the top tabs at the front. And we'll lock it up with 1/17. Somehow I put a diagonal a little bit. Let's see if I can get it up. There we go. All right, and that's our E6. Clean on the surface a little bit. Step number 1 on the bottom of page number 24. Need parts number 118, 47, and 48. We're still recording, which is good. 118 is going to be on board number 2 on the right hand side. 48 and a little bit above the middle on the left. And 47 is on board number 3 in the top right. .48 with a flat surface towards you. It's going to go into that from the top. And 48 also with a little decoration of the frame towards the front. Snap it onto the tabs. There you go. And then step number 2, we need 2 parts number 119. They're also on board number 2. Bottom right, a little bit below the middle. These gonna go on the left and right hand side with the bottom holes. That's our E7. Moving on to the page number 25, and then let's see, that's going to go onto the hood. And just separate these a little bit to the right and to the left. And then we need to put it, this center hole, the one that's the furthest hole, the third hole, onto this little tab 15. So we need to put it on one side here. I put a little bit of a wax on this guy. Then we need to bring it over and set it on the other side. Just like that. And then that's our E8. Put it aside. Step number 1 on the right hand side of page number 25. We need parts 123. They're on board number 3. Both of them. On the right and left hand side at the top. And part number 122 on board number 2 at the top left. Alright, so let's see, with the thinner portion towards the top, it's going to go on to from writing is closer to you, UGears. It's going to go in the bottom left hole here. And bottom. And then the right hand side too. Just make sure you match the picture. It's kind of hard to explain which way it needs to go. Alright, and that's our E9, E10. E10's got double hole here. E9 doesn't. Moving on to the page number 26. Put these guys aside. We need our sub-assembly. The doors. The hood. Alright, the hood's gonna go into... Alright, this tab goes onto the outside, into the frame. The diagonal tab is going to go into these two. And we need to snap it in once you match these guys up. Putting a little bit of wax on all these guys will help a lot, will make it much smoother. Lubrication is the key. All right, both sides are in. And now, step number 2, you need to put parts number 36 along board number 2. 4 of them top left corner. And then parts number 120. 120 is top left, a little bit above the middle here to the left of the center line. Recording is continuing, which is good. All right, so 36 gonna go into this hole on the left. Sorry, closer to you, and the hole up front. Make sure you leverage the parts not to break. Same thing on the other side. And now the parts number 120 with a thicker portion towards the front. They're gonna go onto this parts number 36. Slide all the way in. Keep these doors open. Moving on to the page number 27, and now we put the E9 and E10. Right, so the first thing, we slide it in here and snap it onto the part number 36. Then we do it here. And then we need to slide this little piece in the back in between the bumper, go up, snap it onto this part and two parts here. There's 1 and 2 little tabs, so we're going to need to go into these openings. While pushing it towards the back too, because there's a need to make sure the tabs are matching. And this guy. Might need to use your helping tool just to get the hole lined up. Yeah, it needs to go onto the both. Just like this. So this tab and this tab, they both need to lock. This guy, all the tabs that you see right here, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that guy. So all of them need to be matching up. Same thing on the other side. That'd be my assumption. Yep. So we go in front, slide it in, snap it onto the part number 36, open the doors, snap it on the other part number 36 that we just installed. And now same thing here, we're gonna go around, match the tab, and snap it on. All right, that's page number 27. Moving on to the page number 28. Need parts number 124, 125, and 126. So 124, 125, they're on board number 2. Bottom right, and then the center for 124 is bottom right, and then center is 125. And these gonna go 125 is the one at the top, 124 is the one, these two top holes, 124 are the bottom ones. So I'll do the bottom ones first. I mean bottom, the second from the top. And same thing on the other side. A little bit of a wax will help as before. And then the Sharpie is facing towards the back. All right, and then part number 127, two of them were both on board number 3 at the top to the left and right of the center line. Just match up the one that goes on there because there's holes that are offset a little bit. They're going to go on the bottom tabs here. All right, that was our step number 5. Step number 6, we need parts number 129, 130. 129 is the bottom right and top left. 130 is on the right hand side here. $131 is the top right. And then 128 is going to be on board number 3. 2 of them. Or just one. Just one on the left hand side. Alrighty, let's see. Same thing, that's what we're doing on the back. A little bit of a wax will help to put those parts in easier. Then 131 is going to go in the bag. These 2 little tabs. Opening. We need to line it up somehow. I'm going to use my helping tool to push them in. Left side and right side. Line it up. And push them in. Alright, and then 128 is going to go on the left hand side here. Mirror. For the driver. Moving on to the page number 29. And we need to set it up on our chassis. 2 tabs with the front. Matching up. And then bring it all the way towards the back. And lock it in. And your car is done. There's a little tab on here, like a thick tab. So the vehicle is ready and ready for the operation. So we're done with our assembly. We can wind it up to run it. And as I mentioned before, you need to work it in a little bit. So now it's a little bit heavier, so you do need a much easier run through it. So there's still a lot of friction. And just make sure we don't get too much interference somewhere. So just need to work it in, just like before. After playing with it a little bit, it's going to go much easier. So I still see a little bit of interference somewhere because it gets stuck and then it doesn't release itself right away. So this is one mode of operation, and then the other one, as I mentioned before, it's the pullback. So we just need to play with mechanism until like most of the friction goes away. So again, as you can see, it sticks a little bit. And then once that friction is out, that's gonna travel much easier and faster and further, obviously. So just need to play with it for a little bit. And this completes our assembly for wing sports coupe. You do have wing doors, obviously. You do have the hood that opens up, so it's wheels turn, wind up, and pull back. If there are any questions or comments, please do not hesitate, leave them below. Do not forget to subscribe and like our videos so we get a little bit more views and people will know about us and our assembly. Once again, any questions, send us email or leave a comment below. Email is info@ugears.us, UGears.us, or info@ukidstoys.com. That's UKIDZTOYS.com. We do run 2 websites. And don't forget, check out the website. And any questions, send us emails. This was Dimitri with Ukidz LLC. We'll see you guys next time.